One thing I love, Johnny, is I love a good rags to riches story.
Yeah, I have heard.
I love watching people overcome their environment, overcome the place they were maybe born, or overcome the situation they were, it just happened by luck to be born into, and overcoming those odds and becoming successful, becoming wealthy.
Okay.
It's so nice when people come forward with those stories, because a lot of times people get poverty shamed and they don't want to come out with those stories. You know, they want to bury that shit deep inside. They want to go, I don't want to tell anybody that I grew up poor. I don't want to tell anybody that I struggled. I want to just make people think that the successful person they see in front of them is who I've always been.
Yeah, right. Okay.
A lot of guts to tell a rags to riches story. The rags to riches story we have for you today, I don't know if you heard of this guy, because again, he's no Rockefeller. He's no Rothschild. A young Arab boy who probably grew up in a sand hut, playing with, unexploded IEDs for toys.
Really?
I don't know if you ever heard of him, a young crusader named Hasan Piker. You ever heard of this kid?
I could have swore, didn't he have wealthy parents?
From the gutters of Turkey, like Aladdin playing with Abu outside the palace. This Hasan Piker comes from nothing and becomes something. Now, I know you just said, didn't he have wealthy parents? That's what I've always led to believe. But, I was also led to believe that COVID was this lethal, deadly thing, and that, Israel was attacked out of nowhere on October 7th, and that 9/11 was just some crazy attack by a bunch of Muslims who hated us for our freedom. I've been told a lot of things.
Okay, so then what's his rags to riches story? Then I'm sure the evidence and things of that will air and iron themselves.
Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Aaron, we talk a lot about Hasan Piker on this show. And you even said you were getting sick of the dog shot caller thing. And it's true, I was. But this isn't about the dog shot caller. This is about, and everybody, this is why I'm doing this today. Everybody loves an origin story. And even if you don't like the guy, like remember the movie Joker. Nobody likes Joker. He's a mean, terrible, awful guy. If you're a middle-aged white man who's never done anything with their life and is highly insecure, you love Joker. Other than that, nobody likes the Joker. He's a villain. He's a bad guy, terrible person. But they loved seeing the origin story, right? The Killing Joke, another origin story type of thing. People love it, even if it's a bad guy. So this Hasan Piker tells us his origin story, and much like the Joker, if he's going to have a past, he'd prefer it to be multiple choice. Because you and I know Hasan Piker as the trust fund son of a father who sat on numerous boards of multinational corporations.
Yeah.
You and I know Hasan Piker as a guy who came from a family that includes Cenk Uygur, who has said numerous times, my parents did pretty well. Hasan Piker has never said that he, ate Wonder Bread and Kraft single sandwiches growing up. I mean,
nope.
Nobody would buy it. Look at him, Looks like he drank the bacon grease. But this isn't about Cenk Uygur. This is about Hasan Piker, who we all thought with wealthy parents grew up, silver spoon in his mouth, spoiled. In fact, it's framed a lot of our opinions about Hasan historically. I'm here to tell you right now from the man's own mouth, that is simply not true. Are you ready for the rags to riches story that is Hasan Piker?
Yeah.
Now, full disclosure, this was on Friday. So this was on Halloween. So either Hasan Piker really did grow up rags to riches, which is endearing, or Hasan Piker is really getting into whatever douchebag superhero character he's playing here for Halloween. Let's go ahead and listen, and you guys can decide if you've had Hasan Piker wrong this entire time.
Ways, if you're wealthy and you critique capitalism, you're a hypocrite. If you're poor and you critique capitalism, you're jealous. Americans are so fucking cuck sometimes. Exactly. I mean, I've seen both, for the record, because I was dead broke and was critiquing capitalism, and then people...
This whole time, Johnny, I didn't know that Hasan Piker was Hindu.
Dead broke.
I didn't know he was Hindu. Apparently, he believes in reincarnation because he must be talking about a past life version of himself that apparently was, riff-raff, street rat. I don't buy that. Just a little snack, guys.
will be like, yeah, because you're a fucking loser. And now that I have money and I still do it, people are like, well, hypocrite much? I didn't change.
Right. I just want to say this. If this is true and Hasan Piker has been dead broke critiquing capitalism and he's been very wealthy critiquing capitalism, I don't think that should matter. He has never changed. Whether he was dead broke or whether he had lots of money, Hasan Piker has always been and will always, as far as we know, continue to be a stupid asshole.
Right. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what opinion he had.
Right.
Cool. Your opinion hasn't changed. It still sucks and you're wrong. All right, moving on.
You may have been dead broke and wrong, or you may have been filthy rich and wrong. But no matter what, the consistent thing about Hasan Piker, and I appreciate this about people when they're consistent, the consistent thing about Hasan Piker is that most importantly, he's been wrong. And that's the thing we all need to keep our eye on. We can sit here and debate whether or not Hasan Piker has been wealthy his whole life or whether or not Hasan Piker got lucky halfway through. That's fine. Let's debate that another day. The important point to take away from this is that Hasan Piker is right. He has been consistent no matter what. Consistently stupid and wrong. Yes.
And it's always so strange. Obviously, this is like personal for me for many different reasons because this is my life's fucking work. But what's so funny about it is like people want you to almost be like, oh, once I got a touch of the bag, like once I touch the bag, it's over. Like this socialism shit is done. You know what I mean?
That's what they used to say to me in jail. Once you touch the bag, it's over. Once you touch that bag, you can't ever go back to who you were before. But I think they meant something different. I think he means money.
Yeah. But I mean, again, like, no offense, you're a big fan of socialism, then stop taking all the money.
By the way, it's my life's work. Okay, Jane Goodall. Jeez, it's your life's work. We fucking sit in front of microphones and we go, so people send us super chats.
You eat cereal on your stream,
right.
Dude. Your life's fucking work. Are you kidding me?
What? Yeah. What's in the bowl? What's in the bowl?
What's in the bowl?
Wheaties or Cheerios or oatmeal? Because I'm taking a shit in them, Hasan. I need reading material, dictionary. Sorry, it's stupid. It's a dumb Eminem fucking line. But for him, now the funny thing about this, and we'll go through this after this clip is over. This tweet from Yeet on Twitter. I love Yeet. He clips out a lot of this shit so people don't have to watch it. Mm-hmm. Yeet tweeted this video clip about Hasan Piker saying he's a rags to riches story. He's been dead broke. Now, I think what Hasan means is that his own like personal bank account, his own income. Like when he first started streaming or got out of school,
he wasn't making a lot of money, but he had parents that made sure he had food and that his emergency bills like rent and stuff were paid.
This kind of
things that a lot of us never had.
This kind of talk upsets people who actually grew up without a safety net. This really pisses people off because, all right, it's one of those wiggle things, and trust fund babies do this all the time. They're disingenuous as all shit. You can't believe a word that comes out of their mouth. And once you call them out, they have some kind of wiggle thing they can do. It's what stops them from ever accomplishing anything, so they can just constantly make excuses for their shitty existence. So like Hasan Piker goes, oh, I've been dead broke before. And we're like, what? Your dad was on the board of multiple corporations when you were a kid. They've got this oh so fucking gay picture of him riding a horse when he was a chubby little boy. We'll show that one a little bit later. And you can call him out on that and he'll go, what? No, I meant when I first got out of college, I didn't have a dime in my bank account. Well, that's true. But there's a big difference between I don't have any money and I'm one phone call from dad. Hey, I'm going to be short on rent this month. Can you put a couple grand in my account?
Yeah.
You can't say you were ever dead broke unless you had to feel the pinch of being dead broke. Hasan never had to worry about which bill he was going to pay. It was just what bullshit excuse he was going to give daddy so that he could get the allowance.
Mm-hmm. Although I'll say this, if his dad actually cut him off, props to his dad. If his dad's like, no, you're, he's like, no, the family money, That's the family money. You're out of that now. You graduated college. Now it's time for you to make something of yourself. This whole thing didn't show up on itself.
Yeah.
So you do your thing.
That's got to be hard to do as a parent, though, because you do.
Oh, dear
you do
Lord,
wanna
I
take
couldn't.
care of your kids, yeah.
I spoil the shit out of my daughter.
Yeah.
And then they try to rationalize why I'm still doing this. They try to be like, oh, it's because like this is how he's financially incentivized to continue advocating for this kind of shit. And it's like, no, dumbass.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I believe it, you know? People.
Hey,
Either
two
way.
things can be true
Yeah.
at the same time. He could be full of shit, wrong, and stupid enough to buy his own fucking Kool-Aid.
Right.
These are both possible.
Well, he wouldn't do it for free. And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I've never seen a guy have more like wealth shame himself more than Hasan's doing right now. There's nothing like you can admit to your entire audience. You can admit to everyone, hey, I grew up really wealthy and I feel I'm privileged for that. And so I critique capitalism maybe for people who didn't grow up the way I grew up. And I want to advocate for them. You could say that. You could say that it's for other people. But Hasan is so self-absorbed that he can't look past the end of his own nose to look for some kind of justification for what he does, why he does what he does. And also, nobody would give a shit if you just came out and said you were wealthy. And that
I don't think so.
I mean, nobody listens to Hasan Piker because they think they're watching a rags to riches story.
I mean, I don't listen to Hasan Piker at all, really. So I would agree with that. I think anyone who's seen Hasan, like, no, he has his opinions, but the dude's never seemed like he's ever really struggled.
I have to be very honest. I watch Hasan the way I watch The View because I just love it.
Strangely fascinated by its existence.
As long as I'm watching 2 minutes at a time and I don't have to watch a whole thing, I'm a happy guy. I love watching Hasan. I think he's interesting.
Think that,
It's like watching the crabs eating the tank.
Fucking was born this way. You know what I mean? I always was this person. I always had this $3 million home. Like, it's just so dumb.
Right. It was 2.3 million. Inflation hadn't hit yet.
Again, like,
But that's what
dude,
that's what these trust fund babies do, though, is that they go like, oh, they act like I've always had this $3 million home. And then when people call them out because their lies are so skin deep in bullshit, they go, well, yeah, see, it was $1.4 million. I told you it wasn't $3. It's like, okay.
but again, that's where it's like I'm sorry, but your socialist views don't fit with your lifestyle, buddy. That's the part where I have a problem. Like, you don't practice what you preach at all. You're taking every dollar you can get. You're enjoying your incredibly, wealthy home and all that stuff. And more power to you. You made the money. Good for you.
But let's go beyond that. Let's go even deeper than, well, not even deeper. What you're doing is deeper. Let's go even more superficial.
Shallow.
Who's the corporation he shills for, partners with, and wouldn't make any money without? Fucking Amazon. This guy is acting like some kind of a socialist hero, and he and Amazon are doing one of the greatest public 69s of all time. They are sucking each other off simultaneously. Dan Clancy at Twitch, owned by Amazon, and Hasan Piker. Hasan gets away with everything, gets preferential treatment from the largest corporation in the world. And he's going to sit here and talk about how the workers need to own the means of production and this and that. I bet you if Dan Clancy told Hasan Piker, hey, Hasan, we're having some trouble. The workers at Twitch want to unionize. We need you to criticize that movement so it doesn't happen. Otherwise, we might enforce the rules on you the same as we do everyone else. And I bet you Hasan would take up Dan Clancy's mantle to,
in a heartbeat,
go after the organized labor who wanted more control over the means of production. So, no, it's not that you were wealthy and always have been wealthy. It's that you preach one thing, but you do whatever's convenient for you. That's the problem.
right? Like a trust fund baby.
Like a trust fund baby. And in a way, I don't 100% blame him. Life's just been too easy. And that's not something that makes him a bad guy. That's not something that makes him awful. But when life's been too easy and you don't recognize it and you try to play up like you've earned this authority, it comes off as really fucking shitty and gross.
It genuinely doesn't make sense. Aren't your dad a billionaire? No, man.
See, now that's a guy who grew up working class because he talks like a peasant. Aren't your dad a billionaire? And here's another thing Hasan does that I'll never understand and I think contributes to most of his stress. He seeks, look at this, the chat here. He seeks this shit out.
Right.
He looks for shit to make him mad. And I have a feeling that's how he does the news also.
Probably.
He looks for the shit that's going to make him mad and he focuses on that. Aren't your dad a billionaire? As far as I'm concerned, you can skip that chat because it's barely fucking English. But
someone obviously doesn't have a good grasp on grammar. We can let them come back to it, put their thoughts together, circle around, do it again.
Now, see, if that guy ended up becoming a millionaire, I would believe that he's rags to riches.
You're a 27-month subscriber. Are you that fucking stupid? No.
He has $989 million, not a billion.
No, but you're right. That is how a trust fund baby would react to that. Aren't your dad a billionaire? No, he's only worth $62 million. Oh, well, geez. You didn't tell us he was a pauper.
Able to financially take care of my parents. Both of my parents.
Wow. There's another wiggle thing. I'm wealthy enough to financially take care of both of my parents. Nobody's saying you're not. We're saying they are too.
We're saying they laugh at the money you have. Right. Is what we're saying. We're saying that your dad, like you meet up with your dad, you're like, hey dad, I made like $3 million this year. I'm pretty stoked. I'm $3 million. And he's looking at you going, oh, yeah, only three.
My company just signed a $60 million deal with the UAE.
Are people who genuinely believe that, by the way. They literally think like, oh, he comes from a billionaire family. It's like, you're fucking dumb. You're so dumb. God damn it.
Right. I don't come from a billionaire family. They're multi-millionaires. Get it right. God. He does. Like, he has all the hallmarks of a trust fund baby.
Of a trust fund baby. I've never noticed. This is actually kind of enjoyable. I've never seen this kind of stuff before. Because again, I just I avidly avoid Hasan Piker. So I just, this is exciting. I can't believe
that's your problem.
Actually,
that's your problem that you actively avoid Hasan Piker. That's a mistake in my mind. There's gold in them there hills.
I just have other things going on.
In Turkey, he would be on fucking lists if that was the case.
Oh.
Is unironically that I know, no, sorry. It's not a no joke situation because I just can't sometimes tell because there are people who like legitimately believe that. There are people who unironically believe that.
I'm trying to empathize with Hasan Piker right now because I think his mindset is not a unique one to people who were born with money.
Right. No, everyone who's born with money thinks that no, I wasn't. I had to struggle. They don't want to hear that they had it easy. They don't want to hear that their persecutions and their tribulations aren't validated because other people had it way worse.
It's probably an awful form of imposter syndrome that they have to be suffering from. That no matter how much Hasan Piker accomplishes, no matter how much he's a commentator or he's in magazines and websites and things like that, no matter how many lists he makes, he's worried about what other people think, and he's worried that those other people think he's a trust fund baby. He's only where he is because of his uncle and his dad and nepotism. But everybody, to a degree, has somebody help them out along the way. Like, nobody would blame someone. I bet you if you asked people who don't like Hasan Piker, him being a trust fund baby and him having wealthy parents is not something that people hate about him. They're like, there's 500 other things I can't stand about this fucking guy. And that's what I dislike about him.
It's not even on the top of the list. I actually say, again, it's kind of endearing because it someone like him very easily could just sit back and do nothing, but he's managed to cultivate a substantial grift for himself. He's convincing everybody that he's this big champion of socialism while he takes all their money on behalf of a very not socialist corporation. So it's great.
Here, Hasan Piker dad net worth. Let's check it out. What's Hasan Piker's dad's worth? His dad is worth $5 billion. No. His father happened to be the second wealthiest person in Turkey. He's just not showing up on a list for some reason. What the fuck does that mean? Uh-oh.
He'd be on lists if he was wealthy in Turkey. Like they'd go after him or some shit. Like really?
Mehmet Bechet Piker. Let's type that in. Mehmet Bechet Piker net worth. Yeah, these lists all say around $5 billion.